The Pope's last secret, what Pope Francis took to the grave. Today, the world mourns the death of Pope Francis. But while millions pray for his soul, few know what he left behind. Locked deep beneath the Vatican, hidden behind vaults untouched for centuries, lies a secret so dark, so terrifying, it could shake the foundation of the Church itself. And now that he's gone, it's finally beginning to surface. This is the story of the Pope's last secret. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, was not just a reformer, he was a revolutionary. From the moment he stepped onto the Vatican balcony in 2013, he broke traditions, exposed corruption, and reached out to the poor, the forgotten, and even the atheists. But what the world didn't know was that behind his gentle smile, he was hiding something. In 2024, the Pope's health began to fail. Publicly, it was called a gradual decline. Privately, it was chaos. Vatican insiders whispered about panic behind closed doors, strange visitors at odd hours, and most disturbingly, a handwritten journal the Pope kept beside his bed, locked in a drawer, only to be opened in the event of his death. And today, April 21st, 2025. That drawer was opened. The journal wasn't just personal reflections or prayers. It was a confession. A story spanning decades, beginning before Francis ever wore the white robes of the papacy. In his own words, the Pope revealed how, during the 1970s in Argentina, he encountered something he couldn't explain, something supernatural. It began with whispers in the confessional, stories of a priest who had seen the Virgin Mary. Not as a symbol of peace, but in terror, screaming in blood. He ignored it. Until one night, in 1976, Father Bergoglio was called to a dying bishop's side. The man was incoherent, muttering in Latin, bleeding from his eyes, holding a crucifix upside down. With his dying breath, he told Bergoglio, "You cannot save the Church. She is already taken." This was the moment that changed everything. The journal details how Bergoglio began investigating, quietly. He followed paper trails hidden in the Vatican library. Documents not meant to be read, stamped with red wax seals, bearing symbols he did not recognize. He discovered a pattern of mysterious deaths dating back centuries. All cardinals, all buried without autopsies, all reportedly involved in something called the Ninth Key. What is the Ninth Key? According to Pope Francis's writings, it was an ancient relic, older than Christianity, kept hidden in the deepest vaults beneath Vatican City. It was said to be a spiritual lock that held something at bay, something below. In 2005, right after Pope John Paul II died, Cardinal Bergoglio was invited into the Archivum Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum, the Vatican's secret archives. This invitation was rare. Only the highest clergy could gain access. Inside, he claims he saw things that changed the shape of his faith forever. Among them, a map, dated 325 AD, with a location marked in the catacombs beneath the Vatican labeled Maledictus, Latin for the Cursed One. He visited the site in secret in 2006. Accompanied by 2 Swiss guards and an archivist, he descended into an area sealed off since the Inquisition. Down there, in complete darkness, they found a room lined with bones, some human, some not. At the center, a stone altar, blackened with what appeared to be ancient blood, and on the altar, a locked box. The archivist called it the Ninth Key. According to legend, it was forged in Babylon, passed down by secret orders, and hidden by the early church to keep the gate closed. But what gate? The journal becomes frantic after this point. Pages are stained, torn, written in both Latin and Spanish. Pope Francis described terrifying visions, shadowy figures watching him in mirrors, his dreams filled with screams in forgotten tongues, and an overwhelming feeling that something was coming. Something the Church had hidden for over 2,000 years. He believed that within the Vatican walls something was imprisoned, something not human, and that his rise to power as Pope was not coincidence. It was orchestrated. He was chosen not to lead, but to protect the world from what the Church once tried to bury. In early 2024, Francis summoned a secret council, not of cardinals, but of mystics. Survivors from the failed 1982 Vatican exorcism, a woman who once spoke in Aramaic after being struck by lightning, and a blind monk who claimed to have seen the true face of God. They met in the Apostolic Palace for 3 nights. No media, no guards, no official records. According to the journal, what they discovered was horrifying. The 9th key had been moved. Sometime between 2018 and 2020, someone within the Vatican had entered the lower vaults and taken it. Security footage was wiped, digital logs erased. The Pope's health began to fail shortly after. He believed this was no coincidence. In his final days, Francis wrote a letter, never sent, addressed to the one who will come after me. In it, he warned that the key had been stolen by a secret faction within the Church, an ancient group called Ordo Aeternum, whose mission was not to protect humanity, but to awaken what was hidden. Their goal? To bring about the Unveiling, a prophesied event written in a forbidden gospel locked away since 397 AD. It foretold of a time when the last pope would die, and the gate would open. This morning, just hours after Pope Francis was declared dead, a Vatican janitor found something unusual. In the chapel where the Pope often prayed alone, there was a faint smell of sulfur. The walls were scratched with what looked like ancient script, burned into the stone itself. Latin scholars now believe it was a message. It read, "The shepherd has fallen. The key turns now." And more disturbing, the body of Pope Francis has not been returned to public view. His funeral is scheduled, but behind closed doors, whispers grow. Some say the body was taken for private rites. Others claim it was never found. To this day, no photos of the deceased pope have been released. So, who really was Pope Francis? A man of peace? A reformer? Or the last guard against something ancient and unspeakable? The Vatican has made no comment on the journal. Officials deny its existence, but sources within the city claim the journal was copied, digitally leaked, and now being tracked by unknown agents across the globe. One thing is clear: he took something to the grave. And maybe, just maybe, he didn't die of natural causes. What do you believe? Was Pope Francis hiding a secret to protect the world? Or was he part of a larger plan to unlock something we were never meant to find? If this story shocked you, share it. Let the world know. Because secrets like these don't stay buried forever.